What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. LexxExpress checking in with my thoughts on the WWE Royal Rumble 2022. We're going to go down the match card and kind of, give you guys my opinion on it. And, I did do a live stream, so if you guys watched that live stream, I appreciate y'all. You already know how I feel about it. But we started off this show with Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. And I understand this decision because Roman Reigns said in an interview that really stuck to me, he's like, either I go first or I go last. I don't like going in the middle. I want to be the most memorable part of the night. And Roman was all over the story today in this WWE Royal Rumble. And you know what? I like it. From a storytelling standpoint, the decisions they made in that Rollins and Roman match, it was man to the T. Seth Rollins coming out with the Shield gimmick, that was outstanding. Taking it back. Everyone loves a little nostalgia trip. But most importantly, like the story they were trying to tell between them with the whole mind games and stuff, it really played well into, the promos and just the whole build-up in general. And it gave us a sense of significance, and maybe even a sense of edge where Rollins could actually win the belt. Because up until the Rumble itself, gimmick or not, we all just thought that, Roman Reigns was going to win, no doubt about it. But this was a close call at times. And they had their back and forth, and Seth Rollins shined when he should. And the Tribal Chief just took over when he had to. So, he obviously put him in the lock. Rollins goes for the rope break. What happened? Really, the disqualification, retains, that was such a cheap cop-out. But then he went and got the steel chair. I was going to say the steel steps. The steel chair, right? And he started brutally destroying Seth Rollins, losing his shit, basically indicating that he wanted to get his revenge. So it became something more. And at that point, I said, all right, you know what? I'm with it. Because they have an opportunity here to revisit this storyline, or hell, even continue the story till Elimination Chamber at the very least. And it'll be something that we all look forward to watching. So I'm all for it when it comes to storytelling. But I just wanted a definitive ending. Especially since we have predicted in previous streams that if Seth Rollins beat Roman, Roman would probably enter and win, or vice versa. A lot of people thought Seth Rollins was coming out at the Rumble after that loss, especially after a disqualification, right? But no, that obviously didn't happen. So that match was the match of the night, in my opinion, in terms of, back and forth and just awesome action. I thought it was really good, and just the ending is really where it fell. But they made up for it with the additional storyline of the chair. And then after that, we end up having the Women's Rumble, which I thought at first was just going to be a filler waste. And, there was only maybe one or two people that were possibly winning it. And I know leading up until tonight, we've heard about a possible Ronda Rousey return. Someone behind the scenes spoiled it. But when I found out about a possible Ronda return, it was more like a prediction, speculation type of thing. It was never core, rumors and that I went to the website. It was just pure speculation. If someone was to return at the Women's Rumble, Ronda would be it. And we've heard that before, though. We've heard that Ronda would come back last year or, months ago or whatever. So it's it's not the first time we've heard Ronda's Reigns. Ronda Reigns. I was gonna say Ronda's name. It's not the first time we heard it come up. So it could have happened. Maybe it would have. Maybe it wouldn't. But it ended up happening, right? And considering that she's been gone for so long, and all the shit she said behind the scenes, plus adding the fact that they had tons of returns in terms of the Bellas and Mickey James and Lita, and the match actually had some action to it. It wasn't just a boring trying to get someone over in a battle royale type feel, because the Royal Rumble for the women's, it's something that I feel is always predictable, because these legends they bring back are never gonna really win, right? Unless they sign a short-term deal where they're gonna fight for the title. They're just there for like the little pop and the little, comeback. So I knew like Kelly, Michelle McCool, like all these people were making a big deal about it, but I knew they had no chance of winning. But then when Ronda came out, just the energy and the feel of the match shifted. And that's where it went from being a good guilty pleasure to freaking awesome. And it gave us a Royal Rumble moment. As fans, we always search and hunt for these moments whether it's at WrestleMania or, another pay-per-view or Monday Night Raw or what have you. We're always looking for that moment. And you can't really force it. Ronda coming back, to me at least, gave me that moment. My reaction is on the channel. I was shocked. And for her to have come out and actually won, man, I was super happy. I was like, if this is what they did for the Women's Rumble, the Men's Rumble is going to be off the chain. There's just no way. So then after that, we had the Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar match. Oh no, we had the Becky Lynch. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm trying to remember. So the Becky Lynch versus Doudrop. That match, they could have taken that out, guys. I'm sorry. I know Doudrop has become a little fan favorite and, the whole sympathetic character, but no, I'm sorry. I feel like that match, we knew Becky was 120,000 gazillion %. Like, we knew she wasn't going to drop the title unless there was some sort of interference, but we just knew that wasn't going to happen. So that match was the biggest waste of the whole night, in my opinion. I'm so sorry. Even though both women are super talented, just the booking was just bad. It had some decent moments, but it overall was bad. Then we had Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. And that was one of my most anticipated matches for sure. And it had that big fight feel. And I saw Bobby had some cool moments in the beginning where he was like standing toe to toe with Lesnar. They traded suplexes and things like that. But once Lesnar kicked into high gear, like, Bobby was getting squashed like a bug. He missed the spear outside. He was just getting tossed all over the place. And at the end of the day, I was just like, is Bobby really going to get ripped up like this? And then they hit us with the epic surprise, Roman Reigns, right? And you know what's funny? If you go back to the live stream and you click to the timestamp where that match was getting ready to start, I literally told the chat, imagine if Roman Reigns was to come out. How funny would that be if Roman interfered? Something along those lines. I was live, I don't even remember, but it was something like that. I know I mentioned Roman coming out and ruining the match for Brock. And man, they did it. But I didn't expect and anticipate the way that they did it. Paul Heyman handing over the title was such an epic moment. And Roman Reigns, like his facial expressions and just the way he carried himself, his mannerisms, the guy is on fire. He is clicking on all cylinders. I absolutely loved it. It was awesome to see. And Brock Lesnar was left high and dry. Bobby Lashley 1, 2, 3, which was my pick going into the match. I wanted Bobby to win. It wasn't the way that I wanted him to win, though. And I didn't like that Roman tossed the WWE title like if it was worthless. I really did not like that at all. I felt like WWE put over Roman and put over the Brock and Roman story and shitted on the prestigious WWE title. I didn't like that. But I'll accept it because I traded Roman interfering and him disrespecting the title for Bobby Lashley becoming champion again, which I love Big E, but I don't think he should have taken the belt from Bobby. I think Big E is awesome, but Bobby should have kept the belt way longer. Now that we got fans back, Bobby needs to get the run he truly deserves. Not just throwing Goldberg at him and things like that, even though him and Goldberg had a nice feud and him and Drew had a nice feud. But we needed something more. We need Bobby to freaking reach like one of the WWE champion, like one of the greats to hold the belt. He hasn't reached that. So I feel like him getting the belt again was amazing. I hope he holds it for a while. So overall, storytelling wise, that match, amazing, right? It was my favorite part of the whole night. Because then we went into the Edge and Miz story, and I knew they were going to deliver. Beth Phoenix, she has always been awesome. I loved her when she was in her prime in WWE. Hell, she may be even in her prime right now, but she's not really an active wrestler like that. But Beth Phoenix is awesome. Love her character. Love to see, like it's like a bucket list moment for them, I feel. Like for them to come out and do it together for the very first time, like imagine doing something you're super passionate about and being able to include your wife or your loved one or whatever. Like that was just so awesome to see. You could tell that they were having so much fun out there. And Miz and Maurice as well. They were as good as ever. Maurice showed up. Man, boy, did she show up. She had some nice spots in the match. Overall, the match was just pure entertainment. Just like everything else Miz touches. You could put Miz against anybody and he's going to make it entertaining. And that's why I respect the Miz. People don't give him enough credit. People bash the Miz left and right. But he is always going to make things entertaining. And adding Edge into the mix, come on, the rated R superstar, he's never going to let up. So that match was just pure fun. Pure fun. It reminded me on why I like those little cheesy storylines. And then we go into the Royal Rumble, man. We're even talking about it. I get like this feeling. It just comes over me. The men's Royal Rumble, man. The main event. What we're all waiting for. At that point, having the Edge and Miz match between the Brock and Bobby match. You know, like having the Edge match in between the Rumble and the Bobby match. Everyone in the chat, and I had friends texting me telling me that Brock was going to come out and win. And I just said, my reaction was no. If WWE does that, that is such a terrible cop-out for them to rewrite their mess up, like their screw up. Because remember, supposedly, now I don't even know if Roman actually got COVID. I hope they didn't lie about that. But for argument's sake, Roman catches COVID. Can't fight Brock. They put him into the Fatal 5-Way for the big, the big spice up. And for the shock value, Brock Lesnar wins the belt only to drop it to Roman Reigns interfering in his match. Like, I don't know. Like, then he enters the Rumble to win. Like, come on, guys. So AJ Styles comes in at number 1. I already knew that the chances of him winning were slim to none. I know it's been done before, but I just knew it was going to be nearly impossible. And I loved everything he did in the match. I thought AJ Styles was a major highlight. Even though he didn't win, he was definitely put on in the spotlight, and he carried the Rumble. He made it exciting to watch. Austin Theory, also enjoyed watching him. And I love the story that they got with him and Vince. I want to see more of it. Like, it got me intrigued. So it did its job. But we're like 23, almost 25 people into the match. Like, and I just kept telling the chat, when is the big surprise coming? When is, like, at this point, even if it wasn't like John Cena or The Rock, or people were even saying Mox or Finn Balor, like, actually getting put into the spotlight, like, till then, we didn't have nobody. And then Drew came out at like 21 or 22 or something like that. And I'm just like, Drew was on the cover of the poster. Drew was sidelined because of an injury. And that's probably the only reason why people thought he wasn't going to be there. Hell, I thought that there was a good chance he wouldn't be there because of the injury. But I just didn't know how bad the injury was. But I said that if Drew is ready to go, he's going to come out. And he came out. So the match is... It's going business as usual. It just looked like a regular battle royale on Raw, and no surprises, no special moments. Kofi tried doing his thing, but obviously he flopped, and it's not his fault. That was a tough play to make, and he almost made it work, but it just didn't. So the Royal Rumble didn't have any moves or moments that was really like an epic highlight like that until Bad Bunny came in. They really relied on Bad Bunny to freaking carry the mantle of like the epic surprise. That was so, like, the crowd didn't really care too much. There were some people there hyped, but they didn't really care. I was just over it at that point. And then after him, we get Shane McMahon, which felt like, I love Shane and all, and I like seeing him on TV, and I even said it in my stream last week. Shane needs to come back, but like the way they brought Shane back is like they didn't have anybody else and they put him in there. So that was, that was unfortunate. And then that's it. It was back to business as usual. We don't get shit. And then we get Brock Lesnar at 30. When I said Brock, I said, no, please, no. No, 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 no. And I see what Brock is doing. He's coming out. They're trying to hype him up, saying, oh, yeah, he's furious. He's mad. Everybody in the chat is saying, I told you, I knew it. Brock comes out, dismantles everybody. Everybody's put to waste. It's Brock versus Drew. I said, hey, I will take Drew McIntyre winning once again and finally having his epic run with the crowd. Not going to happen. Brock Lesnar wins. Boom. End of the Rumble. And it was so disappointing because, yes, I wouldn't have minded if Seth would have won, if he would have came into the Rumble because he was mad that he lost, or Roman would have won for the same reason. Hell, even Brock. I wouldn't have been pissed if Brock won if they would have set it up differently. But the build-up was just atrocious. There was no surprises. There was no Royal Rumble moment. Like, the Royal Rumble was literally Bad Bunny and Brock coming in at 30. To me, that wasn't enough. I think it was one of the weaker men Royal Rumbles we've ever seen. You know, and I like the people that they had in the Rumble for the most part. But come on, guys. AJ and Kevin Owens were the most believable people to win. And then kind of Randy Orton, especially when they said, oh, Randy Orton made tie Stone Cold streak. I thought that was cool that they even acknowledged it. So Randy getting put into that spotlight was awesome. But we all knew everyone else involved wasn't going to do anything. And Johnny Knoxville wasn't even a surprise. He was announced weeks ago. So it was like, yeah, it was cool to see him there. He had his little moment. I guess you could say that he had a little Royal Rumble moment, but it didn't feel like epic. And I wanted this to feel epic, you know? And I think that comes down to expectations, which is something that I always say ruins wrestling in general. Expectations ruin this form of entertainment. It ruins any form of entertainment, especially this one, because there's a lot of rumors and there's a lot of speculation and there's a lot of behind the scenes talk because of social media. And between spoilers and speculation, you create this expectation. And if it doesn't meet that, then you're mightily disappointed. And that's what happened. I think that if I didn't know much going into the show, like if I wasn't live streaming and everybody was commenting and predicting, which, hey, it's nobody's fault, man. It was pretty predictable at that point. Like, I literally had people texting me, Brock is going to come out on the Rumble and win. Like, that's how predictable it was. So, you know, you can't blame, you know, the fans for being able to catch on to that. You got to blame the creators. And I feel like Brock winning should have been done differently, honestly. Like, I thought getting into the Rumble required, like, some sort of lottery or something. Like Corey Graves tweeted out, Brock took my spot at number 30, like poking fun at it. I think that having Corey Graves come out and literally getting beat up by Brock would have made more sense than having Brock just storm out there like if he deserved it. So Brock didn't really need the Rumble. Brock doesn't need the Rumble to main event WrestleMania. So it was just WWE playing it super safe. I'm still hyped on that for that match. I'm still hyped on that story. We still got a lot of unfinished business between Brock and Roman, and now the tables have turned. Paul Heyman is with Roman now again. So like there's a lot of story left in that feud, and I'm all for it and I'm hyped for it. But it just, that moment that I was looking for at the Rumble, it just, I never thought that moment was going to be in the women's Royal Rumble match. So I give props to the women. I give props to whoever booked that match because they did a good job. For a while, I kept saying piss break, and then it got serious. Momentum shifted, and everything was looking like it was just awesome. Like the last part of the match, I thought made up for everything else, in my opinion. So there you have it, guys. I did a little breakdown. Just wanted to get on here and discuss my thoughts with y'all, and I want to see what you guys are thinking about the Rumble. If you made it this far into the video, consider subscribing, man. Don't miss out on another WWE review or reaction, thoughts, discussion. I don't know. I talk about movies, games, all that good stuff, and live stream as well. And then drop a like if you haven't already, man. Let's get this video some likes so we could get it recommended, man. I will see y'all real soon. Thank you for stopping on by. Till next time. Peace. 1 through 10, I don't even know what to give it. I feel like giving it a number right now would be too tough for me. So I'm skipping out on giving you guys a number on this one. All right.